What is up guys, Mighty Leafy here, back again with another Fire Emblem Heroes video. This one is going to be a first impressions video on the newest of the new legendary heroes. I believe this one is a legendary Lucina. So it's going to be what, the fourth Lucina that we've gotten in the game? Wait, no, the fifth, yeah, because Masked Marth was repeated over and over again, and let's not forget the identity behind that mysterious mask is, of course. Anyways, without further ado, I'm going to check out the character and give you guys my thoughts. So yeah, let's check it out. Glorious Archer.
After the things I have witnessed, I am not so easily startled.
Alright, I'm gonna pause on the artwork just a bit there. I don't know. Artwork is subjective, of course, but to me she feels like she's a little bit stiff. Maybe that's what they were going for, maybe it's not, I don't know. But anyways, moving on. Oh, it's interesting to note she is a infantry archer that is of the blue color, so the first blue colored bow that we have in the entire game. Alright, I'm gonna pause there on the skills. She's got thong. No, I'm sure there's a better way to pronounce that, or like the correct way, because I'm sure I pronounced it wrong, but alright, so the weapon is a legendary weapon. It's effective against flying foes, grants speed plus 3. If unit initiates combat and foe uses sword, lance, axe, or dragonstone, grants attack speed, defense, and resistance plus 4 during combat. So I guess if they're not using bows or daggers, I guess you get that boost. So yeah, it's really good actually. So right off the bat, you're gonna get that plus 3 speed. So it's kind of like the speed refinement, and then you are obviously going to get the plus 4 to everything. Wow, that's crazy. Effective against flying foes. So not quite the Falcion arrows that I was looking for in one of my previous videos. But anyways, moving on, we have the unique assist skill Future Vision. Unit and target ally swap places. Grants another action to unit. Additional action granted once per turn only. I wonder how that will work with like the dancing abilities. But I guess we'll find out when the unit gets released, because I'm thinking switching places, because essentially this is a swap, right? Yeah, well, let's say swap right there. Anyways, swap with a dancer, and then you still have a turn after the swap. So it's like a swap plus. You don't just swap and you just stand there like an idiot. You swap and then you get to move. So if you swap with Azura and you get to move, and then can Azura then tag team you and dance you from your ass so you can move even further? That's what I'm wondering. But anyways, something else I'm wondering is whether or not you can skill inherit this unique assist skill to somebody else. While I'm thinking possibly not, because it might be a little bit overpowered, but it doesn't say that you cannot do that. Because I think Micaiah has a unique one called Sacrifice, and you indeed cannot inherit that to anybody else. So I wonder if they just forgot to make mention of that right here in the text, because you know, maybe the guy typing went on a lunch break or something. But anyways, for her A slot, she has Swift Sparrow 2. If unit initiates combat, grants attack speed plus 4 during combat. So it's a player phase engagement sort of initiate combat skill. We don't know what Swift Sparrow 2 does, and it couples really well with her thong. Yes, so she is going to get plus 8 attack and speed, and She also gets that 3 speed from her bow weapon already, so she's gonna have really high speed. And then for her B slot, she has Wings of Mercy 3. If an ally's HP is equal to or below 50% HP, unit can move to a space adjacent to that ally. So you can teleport to people that are low on HP, instant transmission there, and give them a Senzu Bean. Only you don't have a bag of Senzu Bean, so I don't know. Personally, I would switch her B slot out for something else. I'm not entirely sure, but I guess I'll find out once I get her and build her, which will never happen, so I guess I won't find out. Unless maybe I watch Phoenix Master 1's video, and then he'll tell me all about it. But anyways, her C slot is the Distant Guard 3, which does the... Oh, I see they're using a combination of semicolons and quotation mark things right here now. So it's like a skill within a skill. Skillception. Allies within 2 spaces gain if foe uses bow, dagger, or magic, or staff, grants defense and resistance +4 during combat. Okay, so basically if people are standing near her, they get a distant defense 2. That's much easier to understand. Can we just write that in instead of this? But anyways, that's essentially what it is. And so she makes for a good support unit, and she can also take advantage of your allies by what's the word, hopping over their head using the swap, maintaining her turn. So overall, decently balanced all-rounder unit. I mean, she has a lot of skill geared towards player phase, but then she also has the B and C slot, which are more catered towards, you know, enemy phase, or just like support based sort of skills. Or is it support based, because she can Wings of Mercy to an ally with low HP and take advantage of them with her future vision and swap spaces with them while maintaining her action for whatever shenanigans she might want to be doing. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, is she worth pulling? Well, that depends on whether or not the unique assist skill is skill inheritable. I don't think it will be, but even if it's not, she is a legendary hero, so if you are heavy into the arena thing, then you do want to get her, because when the weather is right, you get more points. I really don't like the system, but that's how it goes. She has Distant Guard 3, which is pretty good if you are trying to run a enemy phase build sort of team and you are having issues with, you know, distant stuff, as the name would suggest, Distant Guard. So, you know, Brave Lens and just like mages and all that stuff. It's one of those buffs that activate during combat, so you can stack it, and when they hit you, they'll be in for a surprise. But yeah. Alright, so anyways, that is this new unit. Now I'm gonna let the video play until the 8% screen. I'm gonna pause it and give you guys a brief rundown of the available units aside from this unit in this upcoming Legendary Heroes banner. Alright, so these are all the 5-star focus units that will be featured in this upcoming Legendary Heroes banner. Now up top we have of course the new Legendary Heroes, hero, which is Lucina, the blue bow. And then I'm just going to quickly go over each and every one of these characters from left to right, starting from New Year's Camilla. She is a pretty good player phase red flyer. She has a fancy looking red seasonal sword that's, I would get it more for the decorations because red sword units don't get much fancy looking seasonal weapons to show off. It's not necessarily, like in terms of how strong they are that makes these seasonal weapons appealing, but it's about their looks. Like the blue has like carrot lands, and then the green has, the bell and stuff like that. So red really doesn't have anything other than a bunch of legendary weapons, and this one is just some bamboo stick stuff that is customary in, I think, Japanese celebrating New Year's and stuff like that. So, but it looks really good and unique. So if you have a favorite red sword unit with no legendary weapon that you want to pimp up to look special for the occasion, definitely go for a New Year's Camilla and then fodder that weapon to your favorite red sword unit. Aside from that, she is a good player face red flyer, although I feel like she gets outclassed by one of the later units further down the line. I'm sure you know who that is. Alright, so next unit on the list is the Wings of Fate Hinoka, who coincidentally is my last whaled floor unit in the entire game. So she has an incredible bow that is super effective against flying units because it's a bow. Not only that, it gives her speed plus 3, it gives her drive attack 2, so grants units 2 spaces around her, attack plus 3 in combat. It's also effective against armored units, but armored units are very physically tanky, and this does do physical damage, so sometimes you can't one-shot them, but it's really good to have that super effective damage nonetheless. For her A slot, I don't know what she typically runs. I think she has a bond skill that is fairly rare to come by, but what I did with mine, because it had a attack boon, is I run Death Blow. So that's probably what you want to do, is try to go for the one shot as opposed to try to do some crazy stuff. Anyways, her B slot is the flyer formation, which is a must-have for flyers in a flyer-based team because it allows you to be anywhere and everywhere. Now her C slot is a unique skill called the Flyer Guidance, which allows not only yourself, because of your B slot flyer formation, to be anywhere but everywhere, but it also allows your allies who are flyers, flyers that don't run flyer formation, to be anywhere and everywhere also. So that's something extremely good to have. I like to pair her up with New Year's Azura because, both of them can be anywhere and everywhere, and they can snipe people. If that doesn't kill them, then New Year's Azura comes with the egg and eggs their face and kills them. Anyways, I'm going off topic here. So what I'm trying to say is Flying Hinoka, really good unit, and if you get her as a bad IV spread, or if you just don't like the unit, she makes super good fodder for flyers. So definitely one of the best units in the entire game, in my opinion, for use and for fodder. But as I was checking some facts on this character, I realized she is only A tier on the tier list, which I completely disagree with. But tier list is subjective, so that's okay. Anyways, Bravelin, one of the strongest units in the entire game, and if you have played this game for anywhere between 1 day and however long, I'm sure you know Bravelin. Like, if you pick the game, she is basically the Super Saiyan Blue of the entire game. She just has a B slot, Sakei's Blessing, that denies your distant counter to proc, and she also has incredible speed, incredible attack power on a horse, so she can be anywhere and everywhere at the same time, and she has 2 range. So it's incredible, and if that's not enough, they felt the need to give her Swift Sparrow 2 on her A slot, which just means, hey, you think that wasn't enough attack power? Here's some more. Here's some more attack power and more speed. How's that? Yeah, she's just incredibly bonkers. So definitely one of, if not the most powerful unit in the entire game, depending on how you look at it. Definitely one of the top 3 though, even if you are, you know, some crazy fellow. Anyways, next up is Lucina on a horse, not on her feet. She is a green mage on a horse. Pretty good unit. Very high attack power, as it's customary for Lucina to have very high attack power. Forgot her skills, but she does have a decent amount of speed and a really good attack power. I think her resistance was decent as well. Her defense is, you know, physical defense not too great, HP not too great, but what you want to do is you can give her the Blade Tomb, and you can do Life and Death on her in Desperation, obviously the Cookie Cutter build, and then you can make her into a bonkers Blade Tomb mage on a horse for the green color, which of course instantly gets power crept by the new Owen, but let's just say you don't have the new Owen for the sake of the argument, then she still makes for a fairly good green Blade Tomb mage. Next up we have the Christmas Lissa, who Lubu tried to wail for desperately in the Christmas banner, but well, he ultimately achieved his goals, but it wasn't very pretty. It was hilarious at his expense. In fact, it was so funny that I fell off my chair while watching the video. No, I'm just kidding, but it was really that funny, guys. So she has Bolt Fighter, which is one of the most busted skills in the entire game, because, well, if you have a slow armor unit and you want to double people, why not? Just give them Bolt Fighter. And if you didn't think doubling units with a slow unit was good enough, how's +1 to cooldown charge per attack gonna work to smoothen the deal? Yeah! So if you have a armor unit like Zelgius, you know, he runs Black Luna, so this basically makes him proc Black Luna like instantly every time he initiates. Or if you run somebody without Black Luna, so you know, all the other armor units that are not Zelgius or Black Knight, then they can run Aether, and they can proc it fairly easily as well. I feel like they can't proc it instantly. Maybe they can, I don't know. I'm not a big armored buff guy, so I guess with Quick Impulse they can definitely run it. Or if you just have a legendary Hector sitting around in your team, then they can definitely run Aether on the first encounter. So there you go. Overall, as a unit though, she is fairly balanced in both the defensive stats. Her speed is not so bad that you want to throw it away if you can, you know, afford to keep her speed. It's salvageable with some buffs. Her HP is actually really good. Her attack is a little bit on the low side, but she is definitely really hard to kill with her really high physical defense and resistance. I think it's like 38 is what mine has, but mine has a resistance boon. No wait, it's got a defense boon. I don't know, but it's really high, guys, so she's pretty hard to kill. And on top of that, the bell that she is holding right there in the picture, it gives her +2 to everything if she is engaged upon. So I feel like it works against her Bolt Fighter, because the bell is a enemy face sort of thing, and a Bolt Fighter is player face, so it's kind of weird. But you don't have to build her that way. You can also chop her up and give Bolt Fighter to other people. Or personally, I would rather give the bell to somebody, because the bell really stands out as a seasonal weapon and it looks freaking cute. Okay, so moving on now, we have one of my personal favorite characters in the entire game. Well, not character, because I don't really know the character herself, but I just like her artwork. And it's the OG Vanilla Azura. And her artwork still, in my opinion, remains one of the best artwork in the entire game. And she rocks that Sapphire Lance really great, which By the way, guys, when are we gonna get some Sapphire Lance upgrades? Like refine? Maybe just like a +3 speed to it. But anyways, she works as a dancer and wow, that sounded really bad, didn't it? And she is a dancer and she, with her Sapphire Lance, is able to hold off all the red units. So if you put her on the bridge, she is going to gate out all the red units, but of course get her face slammed into the ground when she approaches a green unit of any sort. She has really high resistance, high enough to the point where even if she takes a bane in the resistance department, she can still tank a lot of magical stuff. She has very frail physical defense because of the skimpy costume she's wearing, so don't let people touch her is what I'm trying to say. And then she has really high attack because I don't know why, but maybe she packs quite a smack in the face if you dare to cross her path. I don't know. And she is also really fast. Being a dancer, she has to be fast on the feet, so I guess that's what the logic is behind that. Anyways, if you choose not to run the Sapphire Lance, which I still feel like is a really good choice on her, even though it's kind of like uncreative. You can run the Bakut's Lance, which is equally uncreative because that's like the only other alternative to go with other than Slaying Lance, which is equally... You get what I'm saying right here. Anyways, the Bakut's Lance allows you to boost her resistance even higher, and the Bakut's Lance allows you to have a weapon refinement to give her some more speed. So if you did not get her as a speed boot and you want to lessen your chance of being doubled by naughty enemies, then you might want to go for that. It also makes her a little bit more effective during neutral matchups. Okay, so moving on, we have Exalt Crom, aka Crom on a Horse. Not a big fan of this character because the Exalt Falcion, although seemingly easy to proc the effects, all you have to do is get your HP to 80% or below, so Brazen Range, and you proc the +4 to every stat buff that Exalt Crom will get. But I don't think he has high enough HP and defensive stats to make it easy for him to get into that HP threshold every single time, like when it's needed, you know? So sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Plus, getting into that HP threshold, like it or not, it requires setup. It requires one turn of setup, whether you are attacking to get hit, and probably get double and die actually, but it requires a little bit of setup. So I don't know. I feel like if you want to run the Exalt Falcion, which is basically what this character should, you know, it's the highlight of this character is that. So if you want to do that, do the Infantry Lucina. She does it much better. Exalt Crom also has a really skinny, thin neck on his artwork. So if you guys haven't noticed this, be sure to check it out and, you know, disagree with me if you want to, but yeah, I wouldn't run him. Plus he's a red horse unit, and red sword horse units, there's Eldigan, who I already think outclasses this guy, and then there is Ares, which you can get at 4 stars, which completely obliterates Eldigan. And Eldigan's a 5-star exclusive, so don't ask me why. And then who else? You have Siegbird. He's pretty crazy. And then, man, I'm sure there was a Brave Roy. That's the one. Yeah, there's so much red sword. Sigurd. There's another one. So there's so many red sword units on a horse. That is so good. That Exalt Crom, he's got a lot to compete with before you want to put him on a team, unless you put him on a reject arena assault team. But yeah. Okay, so next up we have Ishtar. So I don't really have this character. I haven't really looked up this character, but I know she is a really good, really strong, high attack, high speed blue mage that for once you don't want to turn into a Blade Tomb mage clone. Figure that. She has the odd attack wave, which is a little bit odd, but not too odd. Sorry for the puns there, but it boosts her attack by 6 and also adjacent allies every odd turn, so it makes her attack go bonkers. And her tomb has built-in darting blow, so she gets amazing speed from it when she initiates. And I feel like it also grants her more attack, and I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me on that. And then on top of that, she has really good stats for the offensive side of things, like she has really high attack, really high speed. And so if you do get her as a plus attack or plus speed, then you're good to go. Yeah, you're good to go. So can she compete with Reinhardt? Possibly. She'll have higher base stats because Reinhardt's a horse guy. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, next unit on the list is female Grima, aka the Grima without the boobs. It's funny how the male Grima has the boobs, and then the female Grima has the flat chest, which is just kind of weird. Anyways, she has the unique A slot, which is uninheritable, called Dragon Skin. That makes sense because you can't give a human some dragon skin, right? Well, I guess they could wear it, but I don't know. Anyways, the dragon skin, what it does is it's got a IoT shield built into it, and also it's got like a ghetto steady stats. So you get +4 defense. I don't know if you get some resistance. I think you just get the defense, and also you get the immunity to not be super effective damage by arrows. You still take damage though, you just don't get super effective damage. B slot, I forgot what her B slot was, but who cares, because you're gonna be running like flyer formation, quick repost, vantage, or renewal, or one of those guys. Anyways, maybe wind sweep if you are feeling like you're out there. Her C slot is the resistant smoke. I remember this because I think she was one of the only units with it, if not the only unit with it. So yeah, she has mediocre attack, kind of okay-ish defense on both sides. She has incredible speed, and she has moderately okay-ish HP. She is a dragon, she is a flying unit, so she has higher BST. So if you have her in your flyer core, she will boost your arena score up a little bit. Plus, if the weather is right, by then I mean the season, because she is a legendary hero, you guys will all get stat boost. So, watch out for the forecast, guys. But anyways, next up we have the legendary Ryoma, which looks really ridiculous. I still maintain my stats on that. He just looks like a lobster on KFC, so but looks aside, he is a really good red sword player face flyer, which perplexes me. It bothers me why they gave him Kestrel stats, which is like a enemy face thing, because obviously you wouldn't run enemy face stuff on a really low sort of defense unit. And I think he's got lowish defense, lowish resistance, but high attack, high speed, so he's definitely player face. He does a lot of damage, but then he has the distant counter, which he can't really use because he'll die in one hit anyways. And then the Kestrel stance is there for the enemy face. It's like they're trying to trick you into building him wrong. I don't know, but I guess with flyer buffs you can make him tanky, but why? Just play with his strength and make him super player face heavy and just kill everything before they touch you. So I don't know, but yeah, Raijinto distant counter. If you want to take that risk, definitely go take a hit from an arrow. Yeah, okay. Anyways, we have, to finish off the list, we have the legendary Lin, who is the green colored bow, and she is one of those units that again I don't have, but I know of, kind of, a little bit, not too much. Okay, so maybe not at all, but she gets a lot of buffs when she's near her friends. So that's how you want to position her, is with mates. She gets a bonkers amount of attack and speed buff when she's close to her mates, and yeah, she's really hard to take down. Can be hard to take down because of her incredible speed. So you can't really double her unless you have like Bold Fighter, which can double everything. But anyways, pretty good unit. Not really enemy phase, not really player phase. I mean, so I don't know. I feel like bow units other than Halloween Jacob, I want to be building as player phase. So this one is kind of like a weird mix of enemy phase and player phase. So she's more kind of like a mixed sort of phase. Yeah, I guess that's the perfect term, like mixed phase unit. So if you build her like that, she probably is going to fit into some scenarios where she will outshine the other kinds of builds. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't really prioritize her though. Her stats were, I feel like they were average-ish. She's definitely not going to win you the game like Brave Lyn is, but she is definitely worthy of considering if you want to pull for. Alright, so should you pull on this banner, and what color should you be focusing on? Well, if you're a new player, go ahead and pull on every single color in this new banner, because all these units are fairly good. Even though I've been shitting on Chrom and Ryoma, they're really good units actually, so definitely do that. But the best units out of this would be Brave Lyn, Azura, Hinoka, and Ishtar, and also Lissa for the Bold Fighter. And also, you know, I feel like Lissa still has the highest BST out of all the characters in the entire game. I could be wrong on that because of new units coming out, but I don't know. Anyways, so if I was a new player, I would focus on trying to get those units, although any of the units would be okay, actually. If you're running a flyer core, definitely try to pull for Hinoka, because even if you get her as a poor Ivy, she has those core fundamental skills you need for a flyer core. And flyer core is sort of my sort of cup of tea, so I really like flyer core. Okay guys, so that has been my video on this new banner, which I feel like will be coming out in 1 or 2 days time, depending on when I upload this video. I hope I don't take too long on that. And if you guys enjoy this content, feel free to check out my Discord server. It's a friendly small community where we have fun chatting about this game and other games, as well as share our drawings and just stuff in general. Yes, stuff. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And with that being said, guys, I will catch you guys next time.